Okay, so moving on to issue 17 now. Now, obviously, this one, the artwork on the front is a huge Oruk on what looks like a very, very, I don't know, hideously mutated boar dog thing. It's that whatever it is. I mean, I have no idea what that is, but it's awesome. Um, Fighting some fire slayers. Now, the art looks great, but as you know from the previous one, I obsessed about that piece of artwork. I thought it was absolutely amazing. Anyway, so nice little piece of artwork. Couple of paints. Now, what have we got here? Now, we've got specifically your base black. Now, Abaddon Black's quite a good base. I myself tend to use Black Legion Black, the contrast rather than the black base. It's just my personal preference. I think it goes on easier, but black base is good. Agrax Earthshade, which is a shade. Now, I have this, but I have the old version of this. So I actually have the old version of this paint, which was more of an ink. I think the difference is they've made them slightly thicker, so which means that the way that they apply is going to be different. I'm going to have to pay careful attention to that. Yeah, to my knowledge, Agathax Earthshade would have been like a wash. You would wash it over the miniature, it would flow into the recesses. It sounds thicker, so that suggests to me that I'm going to have to think about how to use this, that I'm not just going to be able to apply it like I did the wash version, the inky version. So we get two paints in this one. Now, obviously, which means that, of course, this is going to be a very painting heavy issue. Now, I've been painting for a long time. I'm not an amazing painter, but I believe I can do some pretty nice work. But even I believe that, you know what, it's actually good to get refreshes. There's an interesting little pull out in this one called Armies of Destruction. Again, I'll look forward to reading that. It probably covers, ooh, wow, that's nice. Got the Sons of, is it Bayamat? The big giant army, basically, the Gargant army. I love huge models. I still remember the first time that the Gargant, the giant, came out in plastic, and it had so many options. It blew everyone's minds, so yeah, that's definitely cool. It's such a huge model for the time. It blew, everyone was like, "Wow, that's amazing." So what do we get? Well, we get a little bit of lore on the war clans. So talking about the Cruel Boys. The structure of a clan. And different types of clans that I like. We haven't really hit on that. For those who've been watching any of my little painting videos, I've gone for my own colour scheme of kind of a nice purple with orange shields on an ochre base to create a kind of ochre swamp. So it's good to see other Cruel Boy factions other than the standard one, which I think. Let's have a look. It's not. I'm not sure it's very clear what the clan name is here of the standard Red Shield ones, but you've got things like the Grinning Blades, the Big Yellers, and the Slugbugs. Orc clans are awesome anyway. Orc clans are so much fun. Just thinking about your own clan and the way that they function. Ooh, now here's a bit of history. The Age of Chaos, something that I've been curious about kind of like the idea that there was a time where everything was kind of going all right, there was harmony in the lands until chaos turned up, because chaos does that, that's the whole point of chaos. Obviously, I'm a big lover of the Horus Heresy, and again, it's that kind of everything's going great, the human race is out into the stars, it's being colonized and conquered in the name of the human race and the beautiful, imperial truth, which, involves vast amounts of slaughtering and intolerance. then chaos turn up and then wreck everything. So chaos are awesome for just turning up and throwing a spanner in the works. Anyway, so yeah, actually we get quite a decent bit of lore on this painting one, and then we're looking at you know, a nice little techniques to go through. Always good to refresh your techniques. You can get lazy on your techniques, so it's always good to kind of go back to them. Interesting that they're kind of talking about, yeah, obviously about making sure that you are gentle. Even starts to talk about kind of more dry coat, so it doesn't really seem to be going into like proper dry brushing yet, but I think they're leading towards the idea of dry brushing as an option. I think that dry brushing is one of the first proper, you know, painting techniques you learn after slapping paint on, you know, to create highlight and tone. Okay, and then it basically goes into how to use your new paints. Now, this is the thing, because I'm not used to this Agrax Earthshade, I'm probably going to really, you know, spend a bit of time reading about their approach and how they use it. So I think I do need to make sure that I read through just to make sure that I'm using this paint in the way that it should be used. Quite interesting, actually. I'm just having a look at some of the different miniatures here now, and the kind of effects that they're putting on them, showing you how to make sure you put the right stuff in the right place. So yeah, we've got some, you know, obviously it is heavy on the painting, but because, you know, it needs to be, because you're given paints. Interesting battle traits. So this is an interesting thing. Interesting. So I'm going to have to read through that and see how that works, actually. Okay, so, you know, we've got some nice stuff. We've got a little bit of a battle towards the end. And then, you know, I think, you know, for a paint issue, I'm glad that it's got a bit of, you know, a bit of bulk about its lore behind it, because I'm a great lover of reading up on lore. I think, you know, obviously if you want to paint, you have to fall in love with the background. You have to want to represent part of the background. And I'm just having a quick look through here. Yeah, then you've got this nice little pull out here about the forces of destruction. Oh, you've got some beautiful Savage Orcs there. Savage Orcs. What else have we got? Ooh, Spider Fang Grots. Love Spider Riders, they look cool. Yeah, so we got some interesting lore to read up on as well, just to make it even more of an interesting diversion. So there we go. These paints will be joining my big stack of paints over here, and obviously I will be putting this in the files and folders to tidy it up. So there's issue number 17. Good little issue. 2 paints in it. I feel like maybe a brush would have been a nice addition at this stage, because I think we've only had 2 brushes, but other than that, you know, good little issue. Tells you how to use your new paint, which I actually need to know how to use that shade, because I've not used. I'm pretty certain that the inky version, the wash version that I used to have, is not the same as the shade version anymore, so I might actually have to read up and make sure I'm using that correctly.